There's so many steps involved in the building process on these cars. You know, it takes so much work, you know, from the amount of attention to detail that we put into the metalwork, and then the attention to detail that we put into the bodywork, making sure lines are crisp and sharp. And then when you put it into the paint booth, we can't afford, you know, to plug into a dirty air source. I was first introduced to Kaeser Compressors when I worked for Boyd Coddington and learned the importance of good, dry, clean air. And so when we built our facility, that was the only choice that we had, was to go with Kaeser Compressor. And Kaeser was awesome to work with. For us not really knowing the compressor size, what filtration systems we needed, and even when it came down to airline. Air is very crucial into what we do. We use a lot of the new waterborne paints. The crucial thing with waterborne paints is they do require a lot more air. To get the paint to dry, you need more airflow. So during the spraying process between coats, to help get that paint to flash, what we use is basically they're like blow dryers. They're little gun dryers, and they use a lot of CFMs of air. So you need to have a very good air source that can supply the amount of air that you need to be able to get that job done. Because once we started spraying more of the water-based paints, we became aware of how sensitive they were to the moisture. Well, with that moisture, it was also having ill effects on the solvents. In the activators and clears, there's a chemical called isocyanate. Isocyanate is very moisture sensitive. As you're spraying, the isocyanate, which creates hardness in your clears, the moisture is going to attach itself to the isocyanate. And so then it's going to take that isocyanate away from the paint. You know, for 1% of moisture in your airline, you lose 1% of hardness in your clears. And with that total hardness of the clear, your long-term effects, what's going to happen is your clear is going to break down. It'll get cloudy, it'll milk up, it'll start to flake off. Those are the ill effects that moisture can have on your paint job. And those are ill effects that we can't afford to have. When it came time to doing the airline plumbing, you know, in our shop, we decided to go with the smart pipe. That was another direction that Kaeser was very knowledgeable about and directed us on. With the smart pipe, it's a seamless aluminum pipe, so the inside of the pipe is smooth. It's clean. Say, you know, I plug in right at the compressor. Well, I can plug in, you know, 100, 200 feet from the compressor, you know, or 500 feet from the compressor, and I have virtually zero pressure drop. So one awesome aspect with the Kaeser is it's consistent. You know, in the summertime, the humidity is so much higher, so the moisture level is so much higher in your compressed air. So whether I paint a car in the middle of December or I paint a car in the middle of July, it's consistent. My air source is the same, regardless of the time of year that I spray at or the temperature it is outside that I spray at. So we've been very happy with our Kaeser compressor.